Dennis, I'm not sure. I can't recall, and I looked for my note in terms of who's going to do what and start and lead. So we'll just kind of have to play off each other here.
Okay, yeah, I'm good with that.
I knew you would be.
Yeah. Okay, hang on, guys. I'm going to do the intro. Okay, welcome again to another session of the 11th Annual Transforming Teaching Environment Virtual Conference presented by Northeastern State University. The session today is one of many we're going to have between now and the end of today, Friday, the 14th, Valentine's Day. I'm Bob Hale. I'm your moderator for the session. Of course, all of our sessions are closed caption. View the captions, just click on the closed caption icon on the toolbar at the bottom of the screen. Today's session is called Online Instructional Academies, Supporting Online Instruction. We have with us Mike Gowan, who's the Assistant Dean of the Division of Professional Studies at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville.
Hello, everyone.
And we have Dennis Kincaid, who's the Online Instructional Coordinator. He works on hiring online and adjunct faculty to teach for Southeast Missouri State. And he's also an online adjunct does online orientation and training as well. So let me turn it over to Dennis and Mike.
Hi, everybody. And kind of before we get started, Mike and I, we do like to talk, but at the same time, we don't want you all just to sit here and listen to us for the next 15 minutes. So there's going to be chances for everyone to interact, and we just really want you all to interact. It's a much better presentation. So I don't know, Bob, do you want them to unmute themselves and share, or send you a chat? How would you like everybody to share during the session?
They can share however they prefer. Usually they'll do chat, but they can do whatever they want to do.
All right, perfect. So yeah, please share, and we'll go ahead and get started. And so, Mike, I don't know if you want to introduce yourself a little more.
Sure, I do. Thanks, Dennis. Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Gow. I am the Assistant Dean of the Division of Professional Studies, and that may sound a lot more important than it is. Here at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, our Division of Professional Studies includes 3 specific areas, and the first is our Center for Distance Learning. That's where we administer all of our online programs. We have 11 online programs in total. We have 4 undergraduate programs, 7 graduate programs, going to be taking on an 8th in the fall of 2020. So part of our division includes the administration of all 4-credit online programs. Our division also includes our Continuing Education Institute. So that's where we'll have some traditional continuing education classes, children's swim, we'll have our crocheting classes, etc. And then we also have in our Continuing Education Institute a corporate training center that's intended to do our business-to-business training for corporations and businesses, anything from communications training to leadership to some specific technical skills. And then the third area in our division is our School of Graduate Studies. And our School of Graduate Studies includes both of our online and our campus-based graduate programs. So I have a little bit of responsibility in all 3 of those areas. And Dennis and I have performed and have presented this on another occasion in Colorado. And it's always good to see the chats coming in and the comments coming in from people all across the country. So I'll shut up now and give Dennis the floor.
Hi, I'm Dennis. So yeah, like Bob said, I work at South Missouri State University. A lot of people ask that is in Missouri. We are like 2 hours directly south of St. Louis. And my original job was to go out, support, hire online adjuncts, but I'm sure as a lot of you have probably, it's probably happened to you at your university. we've been given a lot more tasks, and we're doing a lot more. So my job's kind of morphed into program planning and development in terms of online. We have 14 undergraduate degrees completely online, 18 graduate, and then 13 minors. And we're pushing really hard to add, we have 3 graduate programs that we're going to be adding online in probably the next academic year or so. So a lot of what I do now has actually shifted from just focusing on adjuncts to focusing on full-time faculty, part-time faculty, and just program development and course design. So it's been a lot of fun, and I hope you all like this presentation, because it really does touch on 2 different models of creating faculty development programs, one that's asynchronous and then one that's synchronous. So I'm going to take care of the objectives for the day, and then Mike will let you know what our takeaway is. The objectives for today is we're just review the history and challenges of support for online instruction in different modalities. That's going to be your asynchronous or your face-to-face models. We're going to describe how online instructional academies were created at both of our institutions to support online teaching and learning. And then we'll discuss the challenges and some of the successes related to supporting online instruction at our institutions and at your own.
What we really hope you take away today is some information and a structure to create and implement your own academy. And as Dennis mentioned, University of Wisconsin-Platteville and Southeastern Missouri, our approaches have been very different. I won't say that our goals and objectives have been different, because they pretty much will align with what we anticipate yours will be also. But we hope you take away a structure to create and implement your academy. We hope you get some ideas in terms of what challenges you may face, what successes that we've had. So we're hoping that the next 50 or 45 minutes or so gives you some information so you can actually begin to implement, if you haven't already, some support for online instruction.
So before we get started, we're actually going to give you all some history of both of our universities, and we'll let Mike go first.
So at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, we are part of the University Wisconsin system. We have about 7,800 traditional students on our campus. We have about 2,400 students in our online courses and our online programs. So historically, we've been around, our division has been around in delivering distance education for a little more than 40 years. Again, our courses range from programs range from an AAS program to a master's in engineering and master's in project management, etc. Historically, we've had the challenge of how do we not only find faculty members to teach online or at a distance, but how do we provide them the training and support that they need in order to be effective distance education faculty members. And our resources available, we've had resources available. We've been, again, we've been in this market for over 40 years. But it's really, how can we become much more intentional in helping and assisting our online faculty members in not only navigating the LMS system, the University of Wisconsin system went to the Canvas system about 1.5 years ago, but also, and more importantly, how do we assist our faculty members in pedagogy and delivering that pedagogy in the online format? So those are historically, that's what we've faced at Platteville. And Dennis will tell you a little bit about Southeast Missouri.
Yeah, so kind of the history of Southeast Missouri is we needed a program that was specific to online teaching and learning. So the only real focus for online at Southeast in the past had been whether or not a course was QM'd or not. And so you know, QM is good. It's a great tool if you want faculty to holistic approach to online teaching and learning. But we had gotten in a really bad rut of that was our entire like course design process was, does it meet QM or does it not meet QM? And so we just wanted something a little more holistic to where we could get out there and be like, hey, you know, QM is great. Like it's a great foundation for a course and course design and what online teaching and learning is, but that's just like, you know, one of the foundations for the entire house. Like there's still an entire house to build. And so we had gotten stuck in that rut in terms of online course design. A lot of it, I'm sure a lot of institutions might feel this way, but it just kind of felt like we were stuck in a rut of the perception of online education at Southeast had almost gotten to where it was a correspondence course. Read this chapter, take this quiz, every couple of weeks we'll do a test, here's your grade, we're done. And so we wanted to get out of that rut. We wanted to show people that online and correspondence courses are not the same, and that you can have a really robust, active online classroom where students build community and can learn just as well or better than they do in a face-to-face environment. And we needed more faculty support. You know, I teach as an adjunct, but I'm also married to a full-time faculty, and full-time faculty, they don't just teach, they do course design, they sit on committees, they do advising, like they just do so much other tasks, just teaching. We felt that we needed to give them a lot of support and really help them through what online teaching and learning is. And so now we'll talk about our challenges that we faced.
So a challenge at our institution has always been in the online sphere and the online program. We're very heavily weighted in adjunct faculty members, and our adjunct faculty pool has been increasing. Now, I don't say that in a derogatory way whatsoever. I'm an adjunct faculty member. I know Dennis is also. I'm certain that many of you out there are also. So we have the utmost respect for our adjunct faculty members, and specifically in our graduate programs, we're using practitioners who are out there in the field to teach those courses. But the challenge that presents is these individuals have other full-time jobs, they have other commitments, they have families, et cetera. So time and schedule has always been a challenge in how to deliver some professional development and how to assist and support those faculty members in their teaching. We have a teaching and technology center here on campus, and one of the challenges has been to make sure that we don't step on each other's toes in terms of professional development and training for faculty members. So coordinating with campus and the modality training has been a specific challenge for us, because we want to make sure that our training and the module and the online faculty academy that we create is designed specifically for those individuals who are teaching exclusively in the online atmosphere and the online modality. And then, as you can imagine, expertise in not only the LMS, but also in pedagogy, in educational, online educational teaching and online educational concepts. We didn't find a lot of individuals walking around there who had a lot of experience in not only teaching online, but also assisting and supporting those individuals who are teaching online. So those were the primary challenges that we faced in creating our online faculty academy.
Yeah, so we also faced our own challenges, and the class that I actually adjunct for at Southeast, and I've been doing it for, I think, roughly 6 or 7 semesters, is ag marketing. And part of ag marketing is we cover Rogers diffusion of innovation, which, if I have anybody on here from Iowa, you know, I kind of started with the Iowa corn study. So I love just the theory of diffusion of innovation. How do we get this new idea to diffuse across a certain population? And so whenever we started developing this program, faculty already had a lot on their plates. They were just doing a lot more than simply teaching. And faculty on campus, they'd been to a lot of different programs, and they'd gotten into the mindset of, is this going to be worth my time? Like, is it worth my time to come to this faculty development event, or am I just going to hear something that I've already heard 1,000 times before? And so buy-in across the university was something that we really, really focused on. And so did this is we got our chairs, deans, provost, and the president. We got all of them on board. They helped us really push this and PR this program. And then we also didn't have a lot of time to plan the program. Like many of you, I'm sure you're given a task or a project and it's like, hey, I need this done yesterday. It's kind of the situation that we were in. We sitting down in these planning meetings with our associate provost, and we came up with this idea. It was in June, and we went and presented it to university leadership right after we came up with the idea, and they basically told us like, okay, that's awesome, you need to launch this in September. And so it was just myself and Chelsea McNeely. We were the two program planners, and we had to design the entire program between basically the end of June and the end of August. So those were our main challenges that we faced. So now it's actually your time to share. So you're going to take your history and look at that and think of what your own challenges are and start how you're going to address those challenges. So for the next, Bob, how are we doing on time? Do you think maybe 5 minutes? Let's think and talk about this question and share out.
Why don't we go ahead and use the chat feature? What we're looking for is, tell us a little bit about the history of your institution and how specifically has that history either specifically created challenges to maybe creating some online faculty support or an online faculty academy. So we'll open up the chat feature. We know you won't be shy, so please go in there and tell us a little bit about your history and how that history maybe has created a challenge or two in implementing instructional academies.
So Whitney said that they had an in-person TLC, but that it kind of fizzled, and now you're working on a new one that you want to include an online teaching component, and TLC stands for Teaching and Learning Center. So yeah, I'll just kind of build off of that, Whitney, if you don't mind. We also have a similar department. Ours isn't TLC, ours is called CSTL, the Center for Scholarship Teaching and Learning, and it's 2 people. They're both instructional designers, like that's the whole department for our entire campus of 5 different colleges. And so they were just overwhelmed. And so, yeah, they were putting a lot of time and energy into planning all of these programs, but some of them fizzled out just because maybe they didn't have the time, they didn't have the resources. So yeah, that's a great one. Catherine said we have, let me see here. We have a department of e-learning because we don't have a teaching and learning center, but one is being built. So I suspect the e-learning support will become part of that.
I'll take this. There's a comment from CBC e-learning that addresses one of the challenges we certainly had, that it's very difficult to get faculty members 2 sessions. It appears that you have a mini institute in the summer where you pay faculty. That's been fairly successful with about 30 faculty coming for 2 days. That would be a huge success on our campus to get 30 faculty at one time on the online, but it is a challenge. It is a challenge to get online faculty members 2 sessions. My guess is that you have a fair number of adjunct faculty members, non-full-time faculty members. And again, there's a time issue, there's a resource issue. So thank you for sharing that. That was a difficult and continues to be a difficult challenge for us. Looks like some of you are addressing the fact that you can't pay your faculty members. I wish we could. Catherine, I'm with you. I wish we could also. I know that there are release times in some institutions. Some institutions have created a budget specifically to pay for faculty members and faculty member time here. But it is difficult. And when you're asking individuals to do more and more, and you don't necessarily have a carrot that may be recognized, by many of the individuals, it is very difficult. And we face that challenge, and we continue to face that challenge.
At Southeast, we tried to give a course release, and I don't know if you all have experienced this at your universities, but administration put a hard fast, like, no, we do not do any kind of course release unless you're doing major research. And so, yeah, we had a really hard time trying to figure out how to compensate our faculty as well, because even though administration was on board with the idea, they really didn't want to have us pay out like a cash stipend. They kind of viewed these programs as part of your daily duties.
It looks like Kate's history in Worcester. Looks like you've been around for about 40 years, but your method of delivery was recording a face-to-face class, kind of a traditional streaming method. It appears you're moving away from that. You've got some full-time designers and instructional designers now. So you certainly are making headway, Kate. In terms of quality, that's always front and center, but it's very difficult to balance that with the constraints of time and enticements in terms of pay or release time, et cetera. So Kate, your history is unique to your institution, but probably shared by many in terms of making that transition and going all in on your online instructional support.
All right, this has been just outstanding group conversation. We'll go ahead and go on to our next slide, which it actually looks at the solutions that each of our different universities came to our challenges.
So what we've done at Platteville is recognizing that we have to be flexible. We have such a challenge with instructor schedules, instructor needs, and making sure that we address their needs with our resources, et cetera. So we built some flexibility in mind, and that has manifested itself in our foundations course, which is a self-paced course. It takes about 4 or 5 hours for individuals who are new to online instruction. And then we've also built some flexibility into our OFA, or Online Faculty Academy, as they relate to some non-traditional scheduling of courses. So we have some Faculty Academy courses for those individuals who are creating 8-week courses, and then also if they are teaching or facilitating those 8-week courses. We've worked with our Teaching and Technology Center and created a policy to make sure that we're sharing the responsibilities. So if a course is deemed to be wholly online, those responsibilities are ours. If the course is deemed to be a campus-based course, then those responsibilities will fall to the TTC. If it's a hybrid in nature, we'll work together. And we'll work together with some very defined parts in terms of the online portion of that course. We will get involved with helping and assisting with the professional development, et cetera. And then we've designated one expert in pedagogy and technology to lead the project. We have an educational technologist who is familiar with teaching online, who is familiar with instructional design. We got very fortunate there to have one person kind of lead our project, and that individual has since been able to engage other individuals in both the instructional design aspect of our faculty academy, and also the pedagogy and the teaching techniques as it relates to that. So we've tried to address our challenges We've got a long way to go, but I think we've come great strides in addressing flexibility and shared responsibilities and the designation of experts.
So yeah, now I'll talk about some of the solutions that we came up with. So I noticed a lot of people were talking about, faculty buy-in and even buy-in from administration in their comments in the chat. And so whenever we were planning this program, what we did is we kind of looked at it as, okay, we're going to have 25 people in this program. We want to bust them up into 5 teams of 5, and we want them to work on a research project, which is going to play into their current faculty roles. And so we found that just making this program have a research component, it was kind of an experiential learning experience, something that they did on their own time outside of the master classes that we offered with this program. But faculty absolutely loved it, and they were put on teams with faculty from different disciplines from all across the university. We actually have had one of our teams from our first cohort, they just published a study where they looked at, we call them student learning outcomes here at Southeast. They looked at their SLOs and they compared face-to-face classes with online classes using our data that we keep for like HLC accreditation. It was a study that had over 1 million data points. It was a research that they would have never completed on their own. They got to work in teams that was with faculty from all across campus, and they absolutely loved it. And whenever we started advertising for our second cohort, we kind of used their experience of, hey, you're already supposed to be doing research, you're already supposed to be doing faculty development. We have a program that can check both of those off the list, and we used our team that published their own research paper in an academic journal, and they're going to get to present on that. It was a great study, had over 1 million data points. It was really exciting, and they got to complete that because they were part of our program. We also made the application process competitive, which got faculty buy-in. We only accept up to 25 faculty member to each cohort, and to be accepted you have to fill out an application. Our department has to accept your application, and then your chair has to approve of that application as well as your dean. So that's how we bought buy-in from faculty, chairs, and our deans, is we made it a competitive process, and was prestigious. It was something that you wanted to be a part of. We had people applying, they'd call, they'd ask about the status of their application. It was something that we got them excited about because we kind of put it up on a pedestal. Our provost, they have different teaching excellence awards, and we have an excellence in online teaching award through our provost office. And to receive that award, you have to either be in a cohort or have served in a previous cohort to actually receive that award. So we worked as hard as we could to kind of position this program to where it was an honor to be a part of. And then, we created this whole program as a team. We reached out to content experts outside of our university. So Chelsea and I, I'm literally looking at my desk and it's a mess because I have all kinds of research papers, all kinds of books about pedagogy. So, we immerse ourselves in that every day, but we're not experts on everything. Like, we're not experts on UDL. We understand it. We can talk to faculty about it. But we decided, instead of us creating all of our own content and faculty just continually hearing from just the two of us, we wanted to bring faculty that were outside of campus onto campus to talk to our faculty. And so we hired content experts to come and present master classes on different subjects. And what's great is these content experts, they'll come to our university and they'll put on this master class for our cohort, and we'll have faculty that are sitting there and they're like, we never thought of doing this way. Like, this isn't the culture at Southeast, but it's the culture at this other university. Like, why don't we change our culture? This sounds like a great idea. So that also helped us out a lot because it kind of tore down our silos of, this is how we've always done business, this is how we're going to continue to do business, and we're starting to get these new outside fresh perspectives.
Dennis, we had a question about how long did it take for you to build up that reputation and that process for faculty members with the award system that you have and the concept of exclusivity?
It took one whole cohort to really get us to that point to where it was a big deal. And so we use this a lot because we talk about marketing a lot because we add a lot of new online programs and we talk about how do we market this. And I don't know if anybody ever been to like Disney World or Disneyland, but like we wanted our program to be the Disney of online teaching and learning development programs. We wanted the first cohort to have such an amazing experience that they went out to all of their different departments, because our very first cohort had representatives from 4 different colleges on campus and 19 different academic departments. And so we wanted them to go out and spread the word. And so the first cohort, we tried to make it as prestigious as possible. But our second cohort, they kind of understood and felt that how exclusive it was to be a part of that program. So it took us one cohort, but like I said, we made sure that they got the Disney World experience going through the program so they could go out and share that with everyone. All right, so we actually want you all to share again. So what are 3 ways you can address the challenges you identified, keeping in mind, you know, what are some time restraints? Do you have any kind of a funds restraint? So I'll just let you know, our department, we didn't get any outside funds from like the provost, president's office. We actually funded it all internally out of our department. And then maybe human and other resources. So that would be like, you know, hiring content experts to come in that aren't on campus. So please feel free to share, just shoot those in the chat and Mike and I will monitor those.
And if there's another challenge that you've identified, in addition to time, funds, or human resources, please feel free to share that with the group also. You're probably not the only one out there facing that challenge,
So we have changing the culture. So is that a challenge, Whitney? As a challenge, yeah. Cultures are hard to change. We still fight that pretty hard here at Southeast because a lot of people view our department as, oh, they're just creating these online courses. We want to teach face-to-face. And so we've been trying to, you know, give them that Disney experience, show them online is as good or better than face-to-face. And it's a long, long road, but it has been rewarding.
Whitney, let me ask you this. When you say change the culture, are you talking about the culture or a clash between face-to-face and online instruction, or are you talking about the culture as it relates to professional development to faculty members and taking the time for faculty members to enroll in and complete some professional development? And while we're waiting for that, what other challenges do you see out there? What other challenges do you have to face? And then we can talk about maybe how we've addressed those or how others have addressed those. Challenges in creating that faculty academy and online instruction support. So changing the culture around support for professional development for administration, faculty prioritize, yep. Yeah, that's very difficult. Now, we were very fortunate here at Platteville because we have administration that does support, and I don't mean to insinuate that most don't, but we do have a administration that does support professional development, does support our online programs and instruction. And so we didn't necessarily face that challenge. But we did face the challenge of faculty prioritizing and seeing the benefit of online instruction, online pedagogy, and creating that culture where our online faculty members either, and again, once again, generally adjunct faculty members saw that it was worthwhile to take that time, even if they've been teaching for 5 or 10 years, et cetera.
Dr. Margie Vance said that teaching online takes more time than face-to-face does. It's much more involved. The faculty involved teaching online have to have a passion, drive, and love for engaging students. I have to totally agree. I have adjuncted, and right now I teach a face-to-face class of 50 students, and then I teach an online, like 100 level class for animal science, and it only has about 15 students. That online class of 15 students takes so much more time than my class of 50 face-to-face students. So yeah, we're also trying to get faculty to realize, you know, online teaching is hard. It takes a lot of time and dedication. We're trying to get administration on board, because I'm sure some of you experience this. Administration, they look at online almost as a cash cow. And it's like, hey, let's have these course caps as high as possible. And we need to kind of get away from that culture.
Looks like Whitney has worked on consolidating funds for their professional development in the Teaching and Learning Center for some equity. Yeah, we face that challenge also, Whitney. Again, we have a Teaching and Technology Center that's primarily devoted to on-campus faculty members and on-campus instruction. But we recognize that so many of our faculty members on campus have web-enhanced aspects to their courses. And then number two, we're starting to create much more overlap in our online and campus course availability. For years, there was a very bright line between what courses and programs would be delivered online and what courses and programs would be delivered in the campus format. And nary the twain shall meet. That's becoming less and less the case, as you can imagine, with budgetary constrictions and the need for resources. And students have told us that they would like a blend of campus and online courses. So we're working on that, and we're looking at our funding sources and funding streams for our online faculty academy, and recognizing that there needs to be a shared system between what we do in our professional development for campus-based faculty members and also those online.
All right, perfect. So that was some great discussion. We're actually going to get to move into kind of the meat of our programs. Mike and I will each describe, we talked about the history that we faced, the challenges that we had to overcome. Now we're going to actually talk about how we created these online instruction trainings and what they involve.
So from at the University of Wisconsin-Platteville, we have different levels for different skill sets. And what we mean by that is we basically created 5 online faculty academy courses. The first is a foundations course, which is a self-paced course. It's for individuals who are new to online teaching. Our second and third courses are directed specifically at non-traditional timeframes. So for individuals who are teaching less than the traditional 16-week, we've developed online faculty academy courses for both the author of those courses. We use a blueprint system where we have one blueprint course for our online courses, and then all sections will be taught off of that blueprint course. So we have an 8-week or reduced time author course, and we also have an 8-week and reduced time facilitator course. So individuals who didn't author the course but will be teaching the course on a different time frame, we provided them with an online faculty academy professional development course specifically for them. The last 2 courses that we have are a level 1 and level 2 courses. These are available to any and all faculty members. And they work directly with the courses that they're teaching in real time. They use their courses as kind of their sandbox, so to speak. So the level 1 and level 2 courses will start 3 weeks before the start of a semester and then proceed 2 weeks into that semester. So faculty members can use the specific course that they're teaching in that semester to apply some of the principles and to work on their kind of the professional development and their skill sets directly in their courses. These courses are time sensitive in that we're trying to keep them within a 4 to 5 week range. So we're not having faculty members in our OFA courses for 10 weeks, 15 weeks, etc. We want them to be time sensitive. We understand that working in and professional development, we want to make sure that we limit the time in which they have to be in the course and completing their exercises. Our course format is using and utilizing our current courses and materials. So again, we're on Canvas. We're using Canvas to teach. We're using Canvas as our platform for our professional development. And then we're also using the specific courses that the faculty members will be teaching in order to apply the concepts. And then all of this is driven by our Center for Distance Learning. It all emanates out of our Center for Distance Learning. We're the epicenter of our faculty development here. We find that that provides some great continuity, and we also find that it's providing a great opportunity for our online faculty members who have been teaching for 15 years or 15 minutes to have kind of a one-stop shop and a one go-to place and person for their professional development.
And Mike, your online faculty academy, this is all done online, correct?
It is. It's all online. I hesitate to say that it's all asynchronous because it's not. We do have synchronous components to our faculty academy. Our foundations course is all asynchronous. That's a self-paced course. But our 8-week faculty, our author and facilitation course, and then our level 1 and level 2 have synchronous components to those. And we use our Canvas LMS to deliver the synchronous component.
Okay, perfect. So I'll move on to what our online teaching academy looks like. And one of the major differences is ours is all face-to-face for the most part. So the culture at Southeast is if you teach online, you're still expected to be on campus every day. We really don't hire remote faculty that are not on campus unless you're an adjunct. So the way that we structure this is we have 5 master classes with our keynote speakers, those content experts that we bring from outside of the university. And we do 1 master class a month from September, October, and November, and then we don't have any master classes in December or January just because people are traveling for holidays. We get some snow down here sometimes, so we don't want to have to reschedule around that. And then we pick back up and we do a master class in February and March. And so we're actually going to host our master class number 4 this Friday. We have somebody from Maryville coming to our university, which is in St. Louis. They're coming down, and we're going to show faculty how to use light boards and green screens in their online classes. And so these master classes are actually structured off of the OLC pillars, learning, faculty, students, scale, and access. And so each one of the master classes we have will be focused on learning. And then the next one will be focused on faculty. And our faculty one is actually the one that we always wait to hold the very last. And we will find people to like come and do massages for faculty. We'll take faculty on a hike. We'll do bird watching. And you might be like, well, how's that part of online teaching and learning? I promise you, we always find a way to tie it back to online pedagogy and what it means to be a good instructor in an online modality. But, you know, we also talk to faculty. They have to be healthy themselves. And so our first cohort, we didn't have labs, but what we were finding is these master classes are held, you know, 1 Friday a month. They start at 9 in the morning and they end about 3. And faculty come to us at the end of the day and they're just like, oh my gosh, we wanted more. Like, this was amazing. I wish we could just do more hands-on stuff with what the speakers were talking about and what we learned. And so for our second cohort, we added corresponding labs for experiential learning opportunities. So we hold our master class on a Friday. And then they have the weekend to absorb it, take it all in. And then the following Monday, it's a completely optional. We don't make it required. Attending the master classes is required. The labs are not, but we set up shop. It's really fun. It's a creative space that the university has created. The walls are clear plexiglass that you can ride on. Big tables, like you can just do a lot of fun stuff. We host optional labs that faculty can come in and they can do hands-on projects relating to the content that they learn. So this Friday, we're going to be learning about green screens, light boards. So the Monday lab is basically, we're going to have a bunch of green screen set up, cameras. We're going to let faculty shoot videos. We have some Wacom tablets if you've ever watched the Khan Academy. So we're actually going to let them take what they listen to in the master class and apply it and do it hands-on. We also hold our master classes at varying locations. So what we found is that faculty have not been around campus. We will have faculty that have been with us 10, 20 years, never left this university, that have never been in a certain room on campus. And they get so excited whenever they get to be in this new space that they've never seen before. And it makes them proud of the university and they love it. We have, you can see in the logo, there's a dome. Well, our building where the president and the provost offices are at, we call it the dome because it's a big building with a dome. Well, in that dome, there's actually a banquet room, and it's only for big parties like cocktail dinners and stuff like that. It's a very prestigious room to get on campus, and luckily we have been able to use the dome room for the past 2 cohorts, and that's where we kick the We have the provost, the president, they come, they give a short talk, and we have faculty that have been with us 20 years, and they're just like, I've never been able to come up in this room, and it makes them feel special. And we also hold a lot of our master classes off of campus, but in and around campus, because I don't know if anyone else has to follow any kind of catering contracts, but we use Chartwells on campus. And so if you're looking at program development and you have a very restricted budget, for us, that's how we save a lot of money is this Friday, we're actually at the Cape County Public Library. It's maybe 5 minutes from the university, but because we're there and not on campus, I don't have to use Chartwells. And so we have faculty there for breakfast and lunch. And so I think I've spent around $400 to provide both breakfast and lunch for all of our faculty that are going to be there. If I was on campus, easily $500 for breakfast, roughly $1,000 to $1,500 for lunch. And so we hold these master classes at varying locations because of cost. So we find someplace like a public library that'll let us have a room for free. And then we go to Panera and we order bagels, and we have pizza or Qdoba in. And so that's part of our cost savings that we do. And then lastly, which we already talked about, which helps us with recruitment, is we do the group projects. And so they meet for these 5 master classes from September through March. We do a graduation in April, and at that graduation, each of the 5 teams will give a 10-minute presentation on their group project. Now, the example I used was a research project. We do let them also do like proposals. So one group did a proposal for an app that would help with course design. And so we do a lot of that. In this cohort, we actually had somebody, they were like, well, why should we care about this group project? Like, why is this important? Like, why don't we just not do it? And our response was, well, we have a really big graduation where we have a really nice dinner, and the provost, the president, all of the chairs and all of the deans are going to be present listening to this 10-minute presentation about your group project. So I guess if you don't want to put a lot of effort into it, just be reminded that the university leadership will see that.
Dennis, we had one question in terms of incentives and how you incentivize faculty to get into the program.
Excuse me. I'm a huge proponent of incentivizing faculty. The problem with our online teaching academy is, and I'll be willing, if anybody wants to reach out to me after this, like I will share our budget with you in how we track our budget and what we allocate funds for. We incentivize the OTA by, they get a certificate, which they can put in their promotion and tenure documents, and that's pretty much all we can provide them. Now, we do go out and we provide them, I don't know if anybody's ever read the online teaching guide by Betchert and Conrad. We buy that and we give to everybody. We give them some pedagogy wheels and some balloon taxonomy sliding rulers. And so we give them some really good resources in which they kind of know they're getting ahead of time. But really the compensation is just, here's a certificate for your promotion and tenure. You have a research opportunity. And we were really nervous that faculty would be like, well, that's not enough. And every year we have more than 25 faculty apply, and we always have a big chunk of people wanting to be part of the program. And we make the content worthwhile. Some of our faculty development events that we have, I'll be honest, they're just not really worth an instructor's time. We make sure that our master classes are worth every single minute of their time.
Great. So we've got about 3 or 4 minutes left. Why don't we take advantage of this with our last question. What ideas, what comments, what program ideas do you have to work on these types of academies? Again, we apologize for not having more time, but give us some ideas, give us some challenge, not necessarily challenges, but give us some ideas, give us some program ideas and things that would work either for you or you've seen work that may be for the good of the order. And while we're waiting for that to come in, I will just say that incentivizing faculty and making sure that faculty members understand the importance of this, and also that they understand the service that we're providing to them. That's been a real challenge for us here at Platteville. And we work with our program coordinators who are hiring the faculty members for the courses. So faculty members understand the value of it. I'm not trying to say that, but again, with time commitment and all of the adjunct faculty members we have here, getting those faculty members to commit for 4 or 5 weeks is not an easy chore at all. And we understand that, and we're trying to work very hard at making that much more palatable for them and much more inclusive. Any final comments? Any final comments about academies or ideas that you have or questions that you have or how we may have addressed a certain issue?
Well, it looks like we either answered all their questions or they kind of got bored and fell asleep. So
wake up out there.
Whitney's there. She gets it.
Well, we appreciate the opportunity to talk about this. For Dennis and I, this is really a labor of love for us. It's been a great experience. There's been a lot of challenges along the way. Hopefully you have our contact information. So if you have any questions or comments or follow up with either of us, I know I speak for Dennis, and feel free to just to reach out to us, and we'll give you as much information as you need or deem appropriate.
Yeah, everyone have a wonderful day.
Oh, thank you, guys. Thanks, Dennis and Mike. I think you spurred a lot of ideas. So thank you much.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
So we're going to end this one here, and hopefully I'll see you again for our 1 o'clock Central session.